Plenty within your hand do for me. You do give me confidence. Give me confidence. So I give you.
And I'm so thankful that most of you have had value. I've had people, personally tell me that it's been valuable. So it's because we always have the best people helping us out with all these trainings. And today you're going to, I think, at some point get to meet um, the organizers of this training and kind of know a little bit about what we're about so that you are aware of future trainings that we may come up with and other platforms that we have to support you in your design journey. Okay, so let me pull my screen up right now. Okay. All right. So here we have 6-day design training. I'm going to just rush really quick to today. And that's day 3. So we're going on with what we started yesterday, building um, a logo from the scratch, the processes involved. And so at the end of today, we should be done with that and then learn a little bit more about how to put what we've learned to good use, to profitable use. All right, and that's what we have. And as I said before, the next training uh, for day 4, 5, and 6 starts on the 27th all the way to the 29th. All right, and we're going to learn motion graphics in that class. All right, without further ado, I want to just let's save time and get to the business of today. All right, so at this point, I'm going to welcome Fiyin, Adeniyi. The podium is yours. If you have any questions, remember, feel free to share them at any point. Stop Fiyin at any point if you need more clarification on anything. And yeah, have an amazing time learning.
Okay, hi everybody. If you can hear me, you could just please type in the comment section that you can hear me. Just type yes. Yeah, just let me know. Okay, thank you very much for your prompt response. I'm sorry, I'm attending to something on the side, so that's why my attention is a little divided. But yay, welcome to the final class in the logo design training or workshop, like I called it earlier. Because of time today, I'm trying to move as fast as I can. So I'm going to completely skip the place of recapping, right? We're just going to go straight into it. So I'll continue from where I stopped yesterday. I need you to please enable screen sharing, Ernest. Thank you. So we're just going to continue from where we left off. So basically, all you've learned so far has brought you to this point, right? We did a lot of things, research, word mapping, sketching, and the one thing that you can see so far is that logo design takes in-depth, like it's an in-depth process, right? It's not just get into it and design the first thing that comes to mind. If you want to design something unique, you have to take your background process as important as the design process itself, okay? So yesterday we came up with a few ideas. This was where I stopped. And just towards the end, I started exploring some other things. And this is what I ended up with for the first Herculean logo. So I need to put a quick disclaimer. We're changing the name from Herculean to just Hercules, right? I cannot disclose why, but we'll just call it Hercules Sportswear or Hercules Sports, right? Or just Hercules. So the brand is Hercules. Maybe the more specific brand will not be Hercules Sports, but let's just stick with Hercules for reasons that I can't disclose. But yeah, so yesterday we finalized that we're going to go in one of two directions. We're going to come up with a strong monogram and a strong icon. And if you go through what we had done yesterday, you find out one or two things that we were, for the strong monogram, we're simply looking to make an H that represented boldness, fitness, and something maybe strong and adventurous, right? And for the strong icon, you realize one of the things that I was trying to represent was either immortality, that's for the icon, that's the abstract icon, immortality, strength, um, what's the other thing we're looking for? I think boldness or something like that. Because remember when we're searching yesterday, we're searching for the Greek symbol, the Greek and Roman symbols for these things because we wanted that to be the meaning behind the symbol. And so we came up with something like this. I think this came from one of the images we saw of Hercules. We saw on his belt, he had a symbol like this, but it was turned the other way. So I decided, okay, let's make this our symbol for strength. And then we had this other symbol. We could just, that's when I started talking about symbolism and creating abstract symbols for concrete or for abstract or concrete ideas, right? So yeah, so just going in this direction. And like I told, I think I said it at some points that some of the results from this class might not be the most spectacular logo you will ever see, particularly because, like I told you, like I said, process takes time, right? And so what we've tried to do is we've tried to compress weeks or even months of process into just 3 days. Okay, so this may not be the most spectacular logo, but trust me, it's still going to work. It's still going to be a brilliant logo. When we get to the other parts of it, you'll see that the logo is still in itself good enough to work for any brand called Hercules. If maybe somebody's watching this and then you just feel like starting a sports brand, this could be the logo. Just let me know if this is what you want, and then I'll send you my bill, and we can move forward from here. Anthony, if you are here, this could be your chance to start, your own sports brand. So yeah, I'm just going to keep working and exploring some of the ideas that I already have. The best, like I said before, during the session yesterday, the best part about this refinement process is experimentation. You keep experimenting till you find what works best or till it's balanced. So this definitely doesn't feel balanced in my eye. Now I'm leaving this idea. So amongst everything that I've created so far, I think this one is the one that resonates more with what I have in mind for Hercules. Someone is top left. That's this guy, right? This guy is actually one of my favorites. Oh, this one looks like a helmet. Yeah, in some way I can see it now. Well, that's lit. So let me tell you guys the reasoning behind this particular one. So if you look at, if you remember, one of the words that that Ebose pulled up yesterday was rising, and she put a very brilliant story to it. She mentioned how, Hercules was this kind of person before, but he faced trials that made him a better person. So basically, she said something about rising to your potential. And I just saw a great logo coming out from there. So, just working around Illustrator, I'm already trying to create a mark that shows something that is rising or I don't know if you guys can see it in this particular logo. If you can see it, just let me know. So if you can't see it, I pray that your eyes will understand and be enlightened. Welcome, Anthony. Anthony is here now. Thank you. So I was saying that she spoke about, how Hercules was, let me see. I don't have the chat replay, but just now look at all these experiments I'm working on before getting to the final mark. And just like I said before, experimentation is the best part of this phase. You keep designing new and new things till till you get what works. So I'm still going to try more things on this. 1, 2, 3. Take this. 1, 2, 3. Just to try and reinforce the idea that I have in mind. So this looks very solid. Now I can decide, okay, you know what? I want to try something more. And you know what, guys? Like I said before, I will try and look for resources, or I'll share resources with you that will help you understand how to use Illustrator better. Because that's one of the key parts about design, knowing how to use your tool, and how to use it well. So just learn how to use Adobe Illustrator better, or whatever vector base. Because some of the things I'm doing here, I'm doing them based on shortcuts, right? I'm just using shortcuts to quickly get them. And so this is not an Illustrator tutorial class. It's a logo design training. Sorry, can that person please mute their microphone? Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, you can see some of the experiments that I have from this so far. This one already looks really good. I like this guy. I think I'm going to try and make a better iteration of it. So the whole point is keep experimenting till you have something. I thought I asked that if anybody had a sketch to share, they could share. Does anybody have any? Did anybody try to give it a shot? It's fine if nobody did at the same time. Like, it's all cool. So the one thing I want you guys to notice is, notice how I am first of all working in black and white. It's important that you guys keep this in mind, because remember the first thing I said to you was that if your logo, for a good logo, right, has to be versatile. It needs to work on multiple colors and scales and all that. So the first way to check your logo is to work in black and white. Because if your logo can work in black and white, it can work in any other color. If your logo cannot work in black and white, it will struggle when it is placed on a different media. Okay, so please, guys, always remember to first work in black and white before working in any other color. Okay, so you can see I worked on a black background, and then now I'm inverting the colors to see what it looks like on a white background. Because there's something about working in black. Black can be deceitful sometimes. So all I'm just doing right now is experimenting, trying out things, trying to see, this is it. And with every experiment, I'm getting closer and closer to what the final work will be. Okay, so let me move to this symbol that I wanted to work on here. Okay, I wanted to work on this guy before. 1, 2, 3, and let me take this guy up. 1, 2, 3. So let's do this other guy like this. Okay, I see something in the chat section. How do you know when you get the best one? Do you ever really know? So that's the thing. Yeah, there's a thing that a lot of designers struggle with, and that's perfectionism. Or is it perfectionism? That's I don't know how it's called. Yeah, I think it's perfection. Yeah, okay, so like you basically are a perfectionist, right? And so the problem with that is, because of the craft, because of design, you never really know when something is perfect, or some your work never really is perfect. It's only good enough to work, or it's only very functional, or it works very well. So the best way to avoid, there's the tendency to, you keep working till uh, till like you just keep working because you feel it's not there yet or it's not perfect enough yet. So the best way to avoid that is to stop when the work is at 90%. Like when it's at 90%, that's when it is good at 90%. The reason why is because if you keep striving for 100%, you will never get there. So why bother? Why do that? Just stop at 90%. 90% is good enough, and 90% will work. So how do you know when the work is good enough? First of all, it has to be functional. Or how do you know which was the best? It has to be functional. It has to have meaning. So once the logo is starting to look like something that can represent the brand, you know you are getting there. Then once you are 99% done, just stop. Okay, so this can work. I'm still experimenting on a few other things. I'm giving myself a time limit because we need to get to other things for this workshop, right? So this is another one. Another thing you need to be careful of, guys, when designing is do as much research as you can also on just the style you're going for. So let me show you one of the things that I also do. When I go to Pinterest, or the first thing I search for, or the first thing I would search for, or one of the first things I'll search for, like when I'm sketching, is I'll search for H logo. I'll open another tab. I'll search for H monogram. Why am I doing all these things? Because I'm trying to make sure that my work is unique. Remember, one of the things I said is that a good logo must be unique. It must not look like something else that has been done. So I have to keep searching and searching till I am satisfied with all the results, that whatever I'm creating is not a duplicate of something else, right? Because this is something about design, and I think everybody should note this. Design is very, 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 very subjective to inspiration. So a lot of times the things you create are subject to things that you have subconsciously digested, or things that you have subconsciously seen. And so you may not realize it, but you are just regurgitating something that is at the back of your mind. So you have to make sure that whatever you are designing is not a replica of something else. Okay? So be very careful about that. Look well, scroll through, look very well, and then ensure that there's nothing you are creating that is a replica of another thing. And I will always recommend Pinterest as the place to go, okay? Because Pinterest is a large curation of images all over the web. So please and please and please and please do that. So there's something I want to check for. I just got some inspiration now, and I want to check something. So great. Now, when I was gathering inspiration, one of the things I saw is that, Hercules is a Roman what's called. So one of the inspiration is, why don't I make, or one of the ideas that came is, why don't I make an H, right, that looks like the Roman H. So let me explain what I mean. This is the letter H. Based off my inspiration, I've seen that, Hercules is Roman, that's the inspiration. So I was now thinking that, why don't I make a letter H, right? Where's that letter? Yeah. A letter H in a unique way that can work for the brand Hercules. So I go ahead and I do something like this. Let me just copy and paste this triangle. So this is simply me just trying out more ideas till you know I can say I have something solid, right? So I'm just experimenting and experimenting and experimenting till the final logo is there. So now I have this first one. I can now decide to push it a bit further. Okay, sorry, hold on. Okay, I can now decide to take it a bit further. Let me do something more unique. It's another letter H, right? But then looking at this, I cannot ask myself, does this feel right for a sports brand? And so if it doesn't, I can toss the idea away, right? Like I said, the first thing you ask is this functional? As when you are getting towards the mark, the final logo, is this functional for the brand? This looks good for maybe a history museum or something, or a Hercules News or something, but this is not very functional for a sportswear brand. So I'm just going to toss the idea away. I'm going to come and work on this guy now. Are you guys still following me, or am I doing magic? Let me see what everybody's going to call. Well, I'm doing magic. I'm so sorry, guys. Like I said, this isn't an Illustrator training, right? So you can just be comfortable watching me do what I do, and uh, when you get to your comfortable software, you can now keep practicing, and just keep getting better and better. Okay, so and I go ahead and I do this in the center. Okay, does this look like this? I think it does. Yeah. Can maybe just make this strokes a bit thicker. Yeah, this feels more like it. So all in all, let me create a new background, make it 100% white. So let's say, all right, I'm about to make my final decision. I have this, I have this. Let me refine all of them. 1, 2, 3. Great. Okay, so that's one logo for this guy. We delete all the unwanted parts and we join together all the wanted parts. So this is logo 1, this is logo 2. And for this guy, I feel like this is something we can do to this show. Yeah, what do you guys think? No, Abby? Yeah, I think so too. Let's just use it like this. Okay, I like this. So let's just combine everything. So now we have 3 logos that we have finally come up with, and we're like, you know what, this is what we're going to show to our clients, or we'll choose. Basically, these are our 3 logos, right? So all in all, I've walked you down from all the steps, from research to documentation to mood board, from mood board to conceptualization, from conceptualization to sketching, and from sketching to refinement. So we're still in the refinement phase, and this is where the next part of our class comes in, and that is typography and color. So I'm about to pull up the slide. Please pardon me for a minute. Okay. So we went through all this. So just to take a quick step back, so you can see that there is no difference between how this board looks and how this one looks, because really it's a lot of experimentation, trying out new things, trying out different sides, different cuts, different things. You just keep working and working till you get it right. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to talk about is typography and colors. So for typography, there are basically 2 types of fonts, right? There is the serif type and the sans serif type. So what is the serif type? The serif type is a type of font that has protrusions. They are called serifs. Okay, so let me open Google to show you examples of serif fonts or serif types. So can you guys see these things? These things are called serifs. Let me do this. Anatomy of serif. So this is a serif, guys. A serif is just a protrusion on a font on um, the strokes of a font. So that's really what a serif is. Let me pull up the Wikipedia definition of what a serif is. So it's a small line or a stroke regularly attached to the larger end of a stroke in the letter or a symbol of a family. So basically, the reason why serif fonts are called serif fonts is because they have serifs. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, it should make sense. So if you look at this, you can see fonts with serifs. These are serifs, guys. I hope you guys are following. These pointy things, sometimes they're not that pointy, but these are serifs. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. Serif, starting with they are the most traditional font option. Serif fonts promote a feeling of class and heritage. This makes them ideal when you want to create a company that feels established. Due to their classical nature, serif fonts carry the feelings of trust and respectability, making them perfect for brand identities that revolve around authority and grandeur. So if you look at, if you look at these brands or these logos, you can notice that Yale uses a serif type. The New York Times has serifs on it. Time has serifs. Gap has serifs. Can you guys name any other logos you think or that you know that has serifs? I'm waiting for you guys in the comments or in the chat section. I've given you expo, so you can say something else. And nobody's answering. Okay. So, wait, can you guys hear me? Are you guys following first? Because let me know if it's that you are not answering. Anthony said Vogue again. Okay, let's just go to Google and search for famous logos with serifs. So these are logos with serifs. No, Gucci is not there. Prada, Burberry, Rolex, Tiffany and Co. Sony has serifs, right? CBS News, Time, WordPress, Wikipedia that we just left. American Eagle, the former Google logo had serifs. So that is basically what serifs are. That's basically what serifs are, right? So moving forward, the next type you should know is sans serif. So simply sans means not. So if there's serif type, then sans serif means a font that does not have serif. They are clean, they are modern, they are engaging. They're used by brands who want to demonstrate straightforward, simple, no-nonsense attitude. When it comes to typography and logo design, sans serif solution indicates a sense of honesty and sensibility. There are no decorative elements distracting the eye or clouding the message. So simply, yeah, sans serif type is just your basic, your average type. It can come in different shapes, in different forms, but it is basic, simple, and does not have any serif. Okay, so can you guys give me examples of logos that you know that use sans serif? Yeah, the new Google, Balenciaga, Facebook. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Awesome. Awesome. So let's move forward. So as you can see, Chanel, Microsoft, Avian, Nike. That's the actual Nike logo with the Nike word. So now these are other types of fonts or typography or typefaces. So let me go to slab serif first. A slab serif is often regarded as a subset of a serif font. Why? Because it has serifs, but rather than pointy and sharp, these ones are actually flat. So Sunny is actually has serif type, but if you are looking to zoom in further, it has a slab serif because it is flat and straight. Honda, the same thing. Volvo, the same thing with I Love New York. They are not sharp, right? They are slabbed basically. All right, so I just thought to put that out there. They're associated with confidence, solidity, and a sense of bold attitude. Now, next thing is a script type. Script types are generally fancier than serifs. Okay, they're intended to either provoke the idea of femininity, elegance, creativity. All right, if you want to make your company feel more personal and you want to earn customer affinity, then the script typeface is usually the best option because of how fun and how welcoming they are. So Coca-Cola, Cadbury, Instagram, Cadillac. Can you guys think of any other brand with script type? Basically, they are like handwritten or hand drawn, and some other times they're just constructed to look very curvy and wavy. Can you guys give any other examples? Guinness. Is Guinness an example? No, I think Guinness falls under serif. See those pointed edges? Guinness has. Yeah, so Guinness falls under serif type. Let me see, famous script logos. Famous script logos. Okay, you have Kellogg's. Awesome. You have Virgin. You have Angry Birds. Okay, no, Angry Bird doesn't fall under script. I will explain why later. We have, I think Disney. Yeah, Disney is script. So we have Disney. Oh, you said Guinness wrote something on their bottle. Oh, this thing. I wouldn't have known. I don't. I don't drink Guinness. But right, okay. Well, that is written with a script something. But Guinness in itself is not. The Guinness logo is not script. But I do get your point. So basically, yeah, that is script typeface or script type for you. So what do I drink? I drink water. I drink malt. I drink Schweppes. I drink Fanta. So yeah, let's move forward just a little bit more to the last one. So there is now display and decorative type. So, okay, Disney doesn't fall under script. Well, Disney kind of falls under both script and display and decorative, but let's understand. So display type, if you're looking for typography logo in this, you can't get more creative than display or decorative fonts. They are unique, sometimes customized typefaces that are used and removed from the norm. They are frequently in logos. They are highly unique and stylized. These fonts they add personality to your brand. Okay, so now, when you're talking about display fonts, simply display fonts are a lot of times are actually very custom, and they are just done to have personality. So look at how Fanta looks like. Fanta does not look like a regular font. Disney does not look like a regular font. Sometimes the type makers, that's the people that make the logo, right? They can decide to make a font out of it. But in itself, it's not a font. It's created custom. It's made to have personality and to have character. And that's why they are called display type, because they're just meant to display, like they are meant to catch your attention and to just show you, oh, this is us. We are fun too. So, right. Now, before we continue, please note this. Never, ever, 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 when making design, use Comic Sans or Papyrus. They are terrible fonts. Do not use them for logo design. If you ever use them for logo design, you don't deserve to be a logo designer. Okay, so please never, ever use them. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about color. I don't have a slide dedicated to color, but I'm going to talk about color soon. Now, there's such a thing called color psychology, right? But listen, guys, I will say this once and I'll say it once only. Let me attend to the chat real quick. Don't ever use Chilla. Jesus Christ. Don't ever use this thing for a logo. I rebuke you. Never. All right, so I'm going to say this. Color psychology is hypothetical and not always applicable. Right, this is a better font, I beg. So, for those of you who at some point or the other, you may have gone online to check, oh, what color can I use for this logo? Or you think the first thing to do is to go online to say, what color can I use? Let me first tell you that a lot of these guys online will tell you about color psychology. So what is color psychology? Color psychology is basically somebody saying that colors, or is the idea that colors represent ideas and evoke feelings. So use colors that evoke the feeling vibe or idea that represents, okay, that's your brand, like represents, exudes. So basically, this is what color psychology proposes, right? That color psychology tells you that, colors represent ideas and evoke feelings. So the only colors you should use are colors that evoke the same vibe or idea. So let me show you an example of what color psychology proposes to you. So, or what these people say color psychology proposes. They will tell you that, red represents, okay, let me do it this way. They'll tell you that red represents danger. Red represents fun. Red also represents excitement. Red represents what other thing do they say red represents? Represents stop or halt. They'll tell you that blue represents calm. Blue represents peace. Blue represents tech. Blue represents ideas. They'll tell you that yellow, it's a Chelsea. They'll tell you that yellow represents life. Yellow represents excitement. Yellow represents laughter. Yellow represents fire, not fire. Yellow represents adventure, right? Now, in some way or in some form, are these things true? Yes. Can red represent danger? Of course. Can red represent um, excitement? Yes. Can blue represent tech? Yes. Can blue represent calm? Yes. Can yellow represent life? Yes. Can yellow represent laughter? Yes. But this is the problem with color psychology. Color psychology limits the color to only one context. But do you know that while red represents danger in a context, let's say in the Christian faith, red can represent freedom. Did you guys know that? Because red talking about the blood of Christ, and Christ is the blood of Christ is salvation. Salvation simply represents freedom. Red can represent freedom. Red can, in some way, red represents fun, but red can also represent danger. So it's already contradicting itself, right? In some cultures, red represents death. In some cultures, red represents life because life is in the blood. So can you see that color psychology poses contradicting ideas already? Blue can represent calm. But do you know when you're using a Windows laptop and your laptop crashes, blue can represent panic because blue is blue screen of death. Some shades of blue represent anxiety. Let me show you what I mean. If I crank this blue up like this thing makes you feel anxious. Blue can, as it represents tech, did you guys know that blue can also represent aquatic life? As blue represents ideas, blue can also represent recycling. You know, there's okay, not recycling, sorry. That was wrong of me. Yellow represents life. Yellow can also represent danger. Like we saw yesterday when we're looking at the danger symbol, the toxic symbol. Let me show you what I mean. If I take this symbol, I turn it like this, I put it here. I do this, I do this. And I decide to do this. This doesn't represent life anymore. This is danger, right? So you can already see that color psychology in a different context does not work, or yellow in a different context does not work as life. It can mean death at some point. It can mean toxic. That's the symbol for toxic. It can sometimes mean energy. And at some other time, it can mean calm. Like there's a shade of yellow that can mean calm. So all I'm teaching you about color is that instead of using color psychology, use appropriate colors, right? Color psychology to some extent is right. It poses a correct theory, or as I said, it is hypothetical and it is not always applicable. Are there times where color psychology is applicable? Yes, there are times, but does that make it set in stone as a rule? Not always. All right. So in one of the brands we saw yesterday, yellow was used to represent a sports brand to show you how energetic the brand was. All right. So this is just to show you that color psychology cannot always be trusted, but you should use colors that are, what's the word I said before? Colors that are appropriate in designing. All right, so let me take this back. So what is now the best way to find the colors that I'm looking for? I go back to my brief. I look at the words. I look at the words and I look at some of the ideas. There's something bold, something strong, adventure, fitness, immortality, sports. So you can even decide to do more research. You know, go online and check, what color in history has been used to represent immortality more. So this is not you doing color psychology now. This is you doing research-based design. So you're like, okay, I want to do my design or use my color based off something that is historically done. Do you get? I hope you guys are following me. Please, if you're following me, let me know. From time to time, just be telling me you're following me so that I can know that I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, awesome, awesome. So, so I'm trying to, I can keep working on new colors till I find, oh, what works best? What's the best way to communicate an energetic brand or to, you know, show a bold, energetic brand? Do I need to crank up saturation a bit? Okay, let me stop working with the background color. Let me start with the logo's color itself. So there's a lot you can do just to ensure that um, you are on the right track. Okay. Okay, so I can try this. I can try something within the red space. You know, Illustrator even has tools for me to work on colors without stressing too much. So I just come here, I go to my hue, saturation, and this layer, I play around with things. I can't use blue because blue doesn't look like it will work best for this kind of brand. I need something bold. So I'm thinking already about something in the red, yellow, and orange fields. Okay. So you guys vote. Which one do you prefer, red, orange, or yellow? Which one do you think represents the Hercules brand more? And if you guys have any other ideas, let me hear them. Let me see if it works. Okay, Anthony says red. Red. Everybody's saying red so far. Red appeals. Okay, so let's go ahead with red. Okay, so yeah, definitely. So I was trying not to talk too much about secondary colors yet because that leads into when we now start talking about brand identity design, and it's a little bit outside the scope of this class, but I'll just keep it. So you can have orange as a secondary color, and then let's say we want to add one more color, right? So remember, we first worked in black and white before choosing any colors, and that's something important to note. Black and white is your primary color palette for doing anything else, okay? So let's now talk about typography. So based off everything we've said so far about typography, which one do you guys think is the best route for us to go? Serif, sans serif, script, slab, or display? Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. So now, with the context of your brand, yeah, you need to know whether you're going to spell the name out in all caps, lower caps, or all that. So because Hercules is a bold brand, and so I will explain. Hercules can actually work for any one of them, either sans serif or serif. Why did I say so? The brand so far has been giving off serif vibes. We can't use a display font for Hercules. Display font is it's it's outside the scope of what Hercules offers. That's the brand. Okay. Gabriel, personally, I'd have actually gone with black and white as a palette, but that's the thing, right? You can offer in different colors to your clients. It's up to you, right? You can just do whatever you want to do, whatever you think works best for the brand, and then you can now send it to your clients. So these are the three that I think will work best for Hercules: sans serif, serif, and slab serif. Okay, let me tell you why serif will not work. Serif and slab serif will not actually work. Let me tell you why. And thank God we mentioned it now. Let's go back to our initial brief. Remember that when we're talking about the brand audience, there's something we saw. This is why I said we make decisions, design decisions based on information. When we were talking about the audience, we said they were male, 24 years to 48. And so what was the key word we got from it? Modern. Meaning that whatever we're designing must look modern. Also remember that this is for sportswear. So you don't want to use something that looks too corporate or too dated. And that's the problem with using serif and slab serif. So naturally, slab serif and serif will work if this was Herculean news or Herculean black if this was Hercules news or Hercules bank. But now we're talking about sportswear. So a sans serif will actually be the best. So now you when choosing your sans serif font, the one thing you should always look out for is balance. Okay, is this logo balanced, right? You need to ensure that it is balanced visually. So it shouldn't feel heavy on the eyes, neither should it feel too soft on the eyes. That's between your logo and the logo mark. So the tagline is handling impossibilities. So, okay, I can now come here and change this font to something less. So this kind of font, name of this font is Bebas, B-E-B-A-S. All right. So, like I said to you guys before, experimentation is the best part of like the design process, really. Just keep experimenting with stuff until you find the one that works best. Guys, never stretch a font, okay? Never stretch a font, no matter what. Never stretch a font. So the whole point is you just keep experimenting till it feels balanced. Okay. think I'm liking this. So one of the things you can also do is you can customize your typeface. No, I mentioned it earlier, Anthony, that I'm changing the name from Herculean to Hercules for some undisclosed reason. So one of the things you can do is you can customize your typeface. One key part of design is keeping things unique. So I can customize the typeface. I can do extra things to it to make it feel more like the brand. Okay, so look how the H has this thing. I can try and do something like that here. You know, I'm just trying to keep the brand visually consistent. So, you know, you can do more with it. And even decide, oh, instead of having it on just the H, you want to repeat it on the E's, maybe on the R as well. It's all based on your discretion, right? Just whatever thing, just make sure it's consistent. So not that one looks bigger than the other. Right now, I'm not really checking for the consistency shot because, you know, I'm just trying to show you how the thinking process goes behind this. Okay, I think it's already too much. So we can actually just do it for the H. We can do for just the H. This handling possibilities feels. So let's go ahead and say we have one logo here. So, you know, we can now do different variations of this logo, right? Just, or what if we get to a place where this is how the logo should be? I don't think I'm comfortable with this shade of red. Let me fix it up a little bit. Yeah, I think I prefer this shade of red. So like I said, the one thing you want to do is ensure that there is balance, visual balance between your logo and your logo mark, as your logo mark and the word mark. I have a comment in the chat. Let me see. Is it any different from the red I used before? Can't see. Oh, sorry. CC000. That's pure red, I think. It's not pure red, child. It's almost there. Yeah, there's no difference really, but let me just select everything and then. Okay, so this is one logo we've done. Let's take this one. Let's see if this same word mark will work for it. Feels off. I don't know why I don't like this word mark. There's something about it that feels off my eyes. Yeah, I'm tossing this away. Okay, let's try with this guy. I like it. I think it's pretty balanced. Yeah, so this the circle can be the secondary color. Let me try that. Okay, it's not bad. I think even like this, we can make the Hercules. Yeah, I like this. So much? No, not so much. Yeah, black is also one of the secondary colors. So let's go ahead and work with this. So like I said to you guys, right, this might not be the maddest logo that this logo could be. If I'm pretty certain, I'm sure that more could have come out from this, but you know, we're trying to just learn the process and see its application real quick. Okay, so let me make a new background. And I'll show you our two new logos. Try making this officially gotten two logos for our clients. Awesome. So let's move to the next part of this thing. Okay, that's the end of the color and typography part and the end of the, you know, refinements from concept to refinement. Okay, so we already officially have our logo. So the next thing now is we're sending this logo to the client. So does anybody have any questions so far? Let me stop sharing my screen now. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so I'm guessing we have no questions. But then can you guys confirm that so far you understand what I've done? And if you were put in the exact same shoes, you can handle something like this. Can you guys confirm that? Like if this was a real client, you'd be able to handle it up to this point. Okay. Gabriel, Daniel, do you have any question? Said once I learn Illustrator. Gabriel, okay, we have Jay. Jay is on the call as well. Jay, do you have anything to say or add? Or, do you feel like so far you've learned? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So the next thing I'm going to be teaching you is how to present to your client. So let's take a 10 minutes break and then we will come back right after that, okay? Take the next minute break and 10 minutes break and then we'll move into this. All right, thanks guys. See you soon.
Give me confidence. Give me confidence.
Okay, so let's move forward, right? Awesome. All right, so from implementation to presentation or implementation and presentation. Now, here's the thing about brand or designing or design, right? This is good. This logo is good, but this is not all that there is to design. Like when you're sending it to your clients, right? How do I mean? Your clients, the best way to sell a logo is not just by telling your clients about the logo, but also by letting your clients see the logo in use. So even if you tell the client, oh, this is the idea behind this logo, Hercules means rising, or Hercules is a symbol of rising and strength, and this, and your clients are deep, 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 deep. Sometimes your clients, the story is not enough. They need to see it in use. And that's what implementation is. All right, so I'm going to show you a presentation of one of the work that I showed you yesterday, which is the work that I did for Fenimoda. And this is to teach you how do you present your work to your client. Is this it? Yeah, I guess this is it. So your presentation, first of all, should have a cover. So instead of just sending JPEGs, or instead of sending JPEG of the logo to your client, that, oh, wow, this is the logo. You don't say, can you change this? You not change it and send another JPEG. Here's a better way to present. So as you can see, this was done in April 3rd. And if you check some of my other presentation, like I always keep evolving my presentation. I keep evolving the presentation deck because, I always feel like there's something that can be better. And as I grow, I make it better. So moving on from here, Fenimoda. So the first thing I did was I explained the brand. I did not use notice that I didn't use too many words like what was written in the brief, right? So you're not presenting the brand brief to the client again. You're just taking excerpts from the brief and from everything, and you're slapping it in the document. You are giving context to the logo you're about to show. So you have the brief or the brand, and then you have keywords: luxury, premium, bold, and quality. So you can now go on to presenting. Or in this part, you can give some background info to how you work. So now, just before you present the logo, I would suggest that, if you have a story behind your logo, right, you can easily put that first. So you can just put it here, concept one, just maybe at the bottom corner. Oh, this logo utilized this, and this. Or this logo combined letter H with this plus this, and you now present. So the first thing I always like to present is the logo on a background, right? Not a colored background. It could be texture, it could be image, whatever it is, all right? Then next thing is, the tagline or something. So you may not necessarily do this. You can do this as a part of, you can just do this as for formalities or just to make the whole thing look very classy, okay? Then, now this is an important thing you must note. Remember that the first thing I told you is that your logo must be versatile. One of the first things I told you is that the logo must be versatile. So it must, before it works in color, it must work in black and white. So your client needs to see, or you need to show your client that, oh, dear madam, dear sir, this logo does not only work in color, this logo works in black and in white. Okay, it's important that that is there because the logo might be beautiful, but if it's not functional, there is really no point. Okay, some of you might need to write that down. Is that so deep? The logo might be functional, it might be beautiful, but if it's not functional, there's no point. That's so deep. Sorry, that person, could you mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, thank you. So your client needs to know that this logo. Okay, wait. Okay, hear me. So let me take this out of here. So okay. Your client needs to know that the logo works in black and white and in color. Okay. So if the logo is on a red background, obviously something has to, okay, no, the logo can remain white, the tagline can be black. All right. Your client needs to see this. You need to show your client that this logo functions beyond the space of color. So something like this must be in your presentation. So you can even decide, oh, you skip this part and just show the logo on red, maybe in a larger scale. Right? So this page must be present in your document. However you want to stylize it, but there must be a page that compares it on different background colors and in black and white. Then, okay, this was the pattern I created. That's for more brand identity design related stuff. Now, remember I said your client should see the logo in use, right? So designers, if you can, and you should learn how to use Photoshop to do mockups. So many of these things were not necessary, or some of these things were not necessary. I don't think the client eventually made the envelope or that, but I'm showing the client that if you ever decide to, this is what it will look like. This is what it will look like. This is what it will look like if you had a tag. So it will look like, even if the client asks for it or not, you need to show the client that this is how functional this logo can be. Let me see if I can pull up another presentation for client work that I have done. Okay, let me show you the same one I showed you yesterday for NGGC. Okay, let me show you. Okay, actually, I show you guys that one. This is a project that I've not even released. All of the projects that I'm showing you now, I've not released them. So let me show you another one. I did this project for a, this one to 3rd of September last year. So they are a music distribution service, music digital distribution service, or digital music distribution service, right? And one of all they asked for was just a logo. So I gave them, oh, this is the definition of the brand. Then I showed them, oh, these were the keywords that I picked things from. And these were the keywords that defined the visuals that I went for. So this was the first concept, Bomb Shelter Digital Services. this was supposed to be a shelter, a bomb shelter, and then this is just a circle around it. So I showed them, oh, this is your word mark. This is your logo in black and in white, right? So the logo in itself was already black and white, but I had to show them that, oh, this is what it would look like. Show them the word mark in black and white. They didn't ask for all these things, but I showed it to them. So I gave them the logo in use on stationery, on an envelope, on business cards, on a letterhead. I showed them what it would look like on a signage, right? So if they decided that, oh, they wanted to make a signage for their building, I showed them what it would look like. Then I showed them what it would look like on t-shirts if they ever chose to make t-shirts, right? I did 2 logo options. I showed them what it would look like if they chose to do caps. I did, this was second one. This was the one they eventually went for. This is the sign for danger, that's like a bomb, and then this was a doorway, that's like a shelter. So bomb shelter. So I showed them the same logo mark on black and on white. I showed them, oh, infused, what it looks like. Same thing, like I told you before, on different things, t-shirts, all these things. The main points being that you want your client to have every idea of what this logo will look like. So if the client had seen this alone, the client probably would not have understood. They'd be like, oh, what's going on? Like, why this? Or like they don't really get it. Like, how would this work? Where would this be on a letterhead? And then I had to show them the other uses. Like, this is what it would look like. This is how the brand will be. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me show you one more, and then I will move on to. I won't be able to do all parts of the presentation for Hercules because to open Photoshop and to start running all these things is going to be quite heavy. And I'm just trying to paint an idea for you for what it will look like. Then I'll send you a resource link, a YouTube link to watch and learn how to properly make a presentation. Okay, let me see if this one is complete. Okay, yeah. So we made this by same friend and I for a client called Screen. Basically, I did the logo design. He handled strategy. All right, I'm trying to see if I can find the PDF presentation. Yeah. So this was the presentation. This was done in 2019. So you can notice the difference between our layout in 2019. Sorry, there's something bugging my screen here. Okay. So you can notice the difference between our layouts in 2019 and our layouts in 2020. Okay, sorry, someone shared a chat. So we showed that, oh, these were the keywords from a brand. This is when we now showed the first concept. So this is what we did for Screen. This was the logo. Like I said, the first thing I show is the logo on the background, right? Then we show that, oh, this is an alternate variation of this same logo. And can you guys see black and white, right? And then we now show that, oh, this is it on different colors. And this was the other one that we did. Same thing, logo on the background. We show that the alternate versions of the logo, and you can see black and white as well. So this one was less detailed compared to the other one, but you should always give your clients full insight into how their logo is being used. Is there any other one I want to show you guys? Let me see. This project, I liked this project, but I did not like the client that much. So I didn't, now I'm not showing you guys this one. I didn't like the client. Let me just show you the one I showed you yesterday, the one for Rekindle. Because I think Rekindle is one of my latest projects. Okay, it's not the latest one. I did this one in June. So Rekindle was actually one of my biggest projects for this year. So this is my presentation deck. I think this is the most recent one I do now, but I'm still going to change this thing. So this was rekindle, and I showed them, I spoke to them about the brand, what is rekindle, and I showed them a simple summary of their brand, right? And then what were the keywords? Passion, energy, modern, Christian. So I decided to attach their approved mood board so that they could see some form of visual direction that they approved at first, right? So first thing, like I said before, the logo on the background, then the logo on white, or then, so you can see there's a black and white thingy like I mentioned before. Then I show them typography use, I show them some patterns. Then look at how I show them these mock-ups, right? They didn't ask for this. What they really needed was a new logo, but I show them, this is how you can use your new brand. And the next thing was, when the brand was about to launch, the brand hasn't launched yet, but as the brand is about to launch, he messaged me and said, "Oh, Fiyin, how much would it cost for us to get the raw files for these designs?" Like, they really loved it, and they said they wanted to make these t-shirts and these hoodies because it really spoke their brand, right? And some of these things they're already planning to use for their social media campaign, because I just show them this is how you use the brand. So beyond just materials, you can show them this is what is actually called implementation, guys. So implementation is how is the logo being used. All right, this is an implementation. So you can see that it's the logo that formed this thing here. It's the same logo that formed this same shape around this. It's the same logo colors that formed this thing. So that's what an implementation is. This is an implementation here. Look at how it's the logo that's forming the overlay shape on the website's UI. Do you understand? The same thing I did for this guy. Show them implementations and usages. In fact, some in the final brand guide, some of the implementations from this second guy were just readjusted and used because they really loved it, right? And so the logo in itself, if I go to a client and I show them this, they would think it's cliche, like, "Oh, why are you showing me a fire logo? It's just fire." You get. But when you start to show them how it can be used uniquely for themselves, that is the difference between a logo designer and someone who starts to branch into brand identity design. So the brand identity design is you expanding beyond just the logo and starting to implement the logo on everything that the brand owns. But that's a topic for another time, another day. But basically, I'm teaching you how to present the logo. So I think this is the last thing I was going to present before coming here. So, we have Herculean. So let me look for a quick image on our splash, right? Are you guys learning something? Please let me know in the comments. Just say something or type something. Okay, so I found this image somewhere. I'm going to do this to the image. So guys, first, another thing you should notice, always design your presentation deck, right? Always design it to match your personal brand. It's important that you do that. Always design it to match your personal brand, because it shows your clients that you're also capable of designing for them. You cannot have your what's called looking like a dead man something, and you tell the client you want to design for them. Like, you literally be contradicting yourself. Okay, so always ensure that you design it to your personal brand. Okay, sorry, I see something in the chats. Rekindle. Thank you, Anthony. So I'm just trying to show you a sample of what your cover page, I mean, not cover page, sorry, what the page with the background could look like, you know. Just do something simple or something that works. So after I tell the clients, oh, concept one, I'm trying to see if I can get an image of a better image, an image of a strong man. Okay, I love this. I found one image. Sorry, I'm looking at it on my second computer screen. This is a much better image. This could just be the first part of your presentation, and this logo on maybe so that's page one. This can be page two, you know. And this could be page three somewhere. You know, just really showing you that your client needs to see these things importantly. This is how you present. So implementation, let me give you guys some tips on implementation, on doing implementation. When you want to create implementations for a brand, a lot of times, or from a logo, a lot of times the implementation will either be drawn from one of these three things. It could either be drawn from, let me copy this and paste it somewhere. Okay, what's that? Sorry, guys. So implementation can either be drawn from breaking the logo down, that's one. Implementation can also be gotten from the brand ethos. Implementation can be gotten from the brand name and the brand's vibe. Okay. So I'll explain all these guys now. So first thing I said is the implementation can be gotten from breaking the logo down. So how do you get implementation from breaking a logo down? Basically, let's imagine we're supposed to create an implementation that's like a welcome to the gym flyer, right? Now, looking at this logo, you first look at it. How can I separate this logo into simpler parts? Is this logo something I can separate into simpler parts? So this logo has some curves, I mean some angles. Can I take these angles, right? And still want to embarrass me. So this might not necessarily work, right? I'm just showing you guys the way you should approach this thing. So this thing has some angles. Can I take this and can I sort of repeat this to form maybe a pattern? So this is how you are thinking. You are thinking, how can I make, how can I create things from the logo that can work across this brand? So that's why I said implementation is really you. Implementation is what now separates you as a brand identity designer. I mean, where you start to move into brand identity, because you are no longer just designing a logo, you are starting to think about the brand itself. So I just do welcome to the, or let's look for a bold copy. Sorry, someone's said something in the chats. iDares. I'm looking for a bold copy. Okay, be bold. Okay, strength of the gods, boldness of men. So let me write this in the fonts that I used for the logo. Let's say is, what's the name of that font again? Bebas. So like I said, this might not necessarily be what any run like I would do on a normal day. I'm just trying to show you the idea of how you can think about it, right? What do I do? What do I do next? Why is this thing like this? Okay. Sorry, hold on, guys. So you might not necessarily do implementations. If you, I think I need to say that as well. As a designer, right? Or you might not go this far as in doing implementations, because like I said before, some of these things are really just what defines a brand identity designer. But if you are comfortable just, being a logo designer, then you don't have to, try to do implementations. You can just work on the the implementations that focus more on stationary design, and also you can just do mock-ups of, you know, cards, business cards, that kind of stuff. Just to, do you and be more comfortable, right? So you don't have to do any of the more wicked implementations, right? Because like right now I'm just running on vibes because everything I'm doing, I'm not even seeing how practical this would be in real life, but I'm just trying to see what works. Okay, so please bear with me if I'm constantly deleting things and uh, redoing things. Okay, also this is starting to look very solid like this. Okay, you know what? Let me do something else. How's this gonna work? How am I gonna do this thing? So I'm still talking about creating implementations by breaking the logo down, right? Okay, I have something in the chat. Power clip, whatever it's called, man. I don't like Coral Draw. Let me set it back to normal. I'm starting to get. Okay, I'm getting chats. Adeniyi. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully created an implementation, right? No, okay, I'm going to decide to take this off or to, you know, do this. Let's let me. Should I put this on overlay as well? It's not gonna work. So as you can see, this is already a pretty solid uh, uh, implementation. All right, and like I said, this one came from breaking down the logo. So I will admit though that the copy and the image, that's this fat like a god and the image, they don't speak sports, they speak more like wrestling. So I might probably need to fix that up, right? But this is what I'm showing you. Everything started because I noticed something about the logo, and that is that it had curves, it had angles. And the first thing that came to mind is, can I use this for something? Can I make something out of what this logo already has? And that's how you should think when it comes to implementations. You should start thinking about what can you do with what is already done. What can you do with what is already done? How can you expand the logo into something bigger, something greater? So that's why you need to have the idea down. Like you need to have ideas. You need to have ideas. If you know what I mean, like you need to be able to look at the brand and say this is what this can be. And a lot of times you see that this thing only comes because you did some level of strategic approach to design, right? So you did not just put the angles there because they looked good, but well, I mean, sometimes it's because they look good, but you can at every point in time track that this is why you took this design decision. Yeah, now look at this. This is solid as it is. I can put this in the documents. Maybe I find a mock-up of something and I just put this in that mock-up and I put this in the document, right? This feels like the Hercules brand, okay? Now, the next thing is you can get implementation from the brand ethos. When I say the brand ethos, I simply mean all these words that were associated with the brand. So, okay, let me show you guys something aside from breaking the logo down. So let's imagine I wanted to create a letterhead for this brand. So because I already know that the one thing we're using in this brand is this guy, I can take that and I can replicate it somewhere. The same angles. guys can notice how this letterhead still feels like it's Herculean. And what's the one thing, I mean Hercules, and what's the one thing that made it different? This, because I've taken this and I've decided to make it a part of the brand. So even if I do it like this, it's just experimenting till I find what exactly is the best. You understand what I mean, bro? It still feels like the brand, right? And that's the key thing in implementation. You're doing things to the brand's, you're doing things to expand the brand beyond what it currently is, and that is just beyond the logo, right? Which is basically in simple terms what implementation is. It is you expanding the brand beyond the logo. So this is already a good letterhead that works for them. I could do some other things that feel more like Hercules, but you understand what I mean, talking about from breaking the logo down. So from the brand ethos, now I go to Hercules and then I look for words that are associated with Hercules. Thankfully, we did that here already. So Roman, bold, strong, immortality, God, this. So imagine if I decided that, you know what, for the brand, we're going to use a bunch of Roman pillars, right? As I'm doing this roughly, very roughly. So this is going to be the everything else that represents the Hercules brand. So you can do that and you have that on your letterhead. Let me show you an example. Oh, this is supposed to be the letterhead. I take this to the side. So when I say brand ethos, what I mean is things that belong to the brand. In terms of like the name. So um, I, I don't know a better way to phrase it except things that belong to the brand. So if we're talking about brand ethos, I'm talking about things like if the name of the brand now is stone, stone, um, rock and stones, right? Oh no, not rock and stones. Yeah, let's say rock and stones. So what's the one thing that I will put in the brand to make it, if I'm working around pebbles and stones, I can use illustrations of stones. And that is what will make the brand complete. So look at this. Imagine these pillars were more fine, sha. Imagine the pillars were finer. And I can decide that this is the brand letterhead. It still feels like Hercules. Still, do you understand? Like it works. Okay. So the next thing is the brand name. Okay, so some brands, their names are enough for you to draw things out of. So if just like I said with pebbles and stones, I mean with rocks and stones, um, because the name says rocks and stones, right? You can actually just go ahead and use stones and rocks, illustrations of those things, and make them the brand implementation, right? Then the final one is the brand's vibe. So let's just imagine that Hercules has nothing else I can use, but I know that the brand is dynamic and the brand is a strong brand. I can easily do this as well. And this is just based off, the brand is a strong brand. I just take a bold shape. And this is it. I can decide to make, a crazy bold pattern. Um, right. And this pattern I've just made, I'm just making it based off the fact that, oh, the brand is bold, right? Like I said before. So nothing else informs my decision, just for the fact that the vibe of the brand is bold, and I can decide this is Hercules. I'm trying to say how to do this in that's not interface with text. Okay. This could be the Hercules letterhead or something, right? And I can expand this even in the implementation. That's this kind of thing. You understand what I mean? So basically, that's it on implementation and presentation. You are simply expanding your logo and showing your clients how the logo can be used in real life situations. So sometimes it's in posters, sometimes it's in banners, sometimes it's just in conceptual art about the brand. Let me go back to Rekindle as an example. These implementations of love, peace, and joy, these were just concept arts that I knew flowed with the brand, right? So this entire thing was not a poster. I wasn't. This was more like a call for volunteer poster. Just the idea. All right. The same thing with this one, Children for Christ. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you designing a poster for your client. You're just telling your client that this is how the logo can be used in a real life situation. Okay. So that is it on implementation and presentation. Um, Basically, when you have that document done, when you export it as a PDF, the page, this page, the color split page, then the implementations and mockup pages, you can start to see that you will have a document that can convince any client. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to, okay, let me just project it on my screen first. So if you check the link I'm about to paste in the chat, there is, where's chat again? So there is this, how to present logo designs and identity projects to clients. So I'm going to mute this and show you some of the things that he said. Isolated logo on white, just like I showed you guys before. Then there's a split screen. Then there's the mockups that I mentioned. So he goes into more details to tell you what kind of mockups to use, standard mockups. Then there is also the spaced mockups, large format mockups. So banners, all these kind of things. Then yeah, I was going to say at the end of the class, actually, they are one of the people I was going to recommend for you to learn. So that's where mockups are. So all I'm telling you, when you check the link, you can get more ideas on that. But basically, that's all on implementation and presentation. So now, when you follow everything that I've taught you so far, from beginning to end, you will have created a beautiful, functional logo that is not only beautiful, not only functional, but is also able to convince your clients that this is the right logo for them. All right. So let me see I'm seeing the chat. So yeah, that is it. So now let's move to the final session, right? Defining the path, or it's supposed to be defining your path. but all the same defining the path. Now, hopefully everything that I've taught you so far will help you or has helped you to understand logo design and the skill, the technical part of it. But let's now move to something more important. Now that you've got the skill, what's next? What's the future for you? And this is more a heart-to-heart discussion, right? So choosing logo design or brand identity design as a career is hard. I promise you, it is so hard. And the reason why I'm saying it's hard is that a lot of times there are days where you will not have clients. Let me stop my screen sharing for now so you guys can feel my passion as I'm talking. So a lot of times, is how do I minimize this thing? Is it Control R? R or Alt? Yes, okay. So a lot of times you will not have clients. There's a lot of times where you'll be seriously broke and you'll be tempted to do smaller work. A lot of times you will fight imposter syndrome. A lot of times you will find out that people are meaning you, like the design community. The design community is funny because it can be both a great place for you to learn and grow and also a very toxic place because people will mean you and hate you just because you are good and just because you're better than them. Yeah, I can tell you particularly that like I've experienced this. And for you to go ahead with a career like this, you need to first ask yourself, what am I willing to take this on for the future? What do I need to do to take it on for the future? What am I seeing myself doing in the long run? Am I just going to remain a logo designer for the next how many years of my life? Is this going to be sustainable? If I'm choosing to be a logo designer, where can I work? What kind of place can I work? Do I need to expand my skills? Do I need to learn new things? Do I need to be a jack of all trades? So these questions posed before you, I'll answer a few of them. And some of them you might have to answer them later. And some of the other questions you might have to reach out to me and then we define things together. But let me start by saying if you choose this career, you've chosen a beautiful career because the world is starting to lean on design. The world is leaning on design. Businesses need design to thrive and to be identified and to be recognized out there. Okay, so now that you have the skills, what's the next thing you need to do? First thing you need to do is practice and grow. Okay, um, let me show you a couple of YouTube channels that I would recommend. If you guys can take other courses apart from this one, please do. All right. One of the things that I remember saying was that, there is no end to growth. There is no end to growth. Okay. And if you truly believe that there is no end to growth, then it means there should be no end to your hunger for knowledge. Okay. So if there is no end to your hunger for knowledge, you should never be satisfied, never feel like you have gotten there or you are there yet. So I will start by telling you learn online. On the internet has so many resources, many resources that you can use. Starting from YouTube, if you want to learn how to sketch and how to vectorize better and how to use your Illustrator better, this is one YouTube channel I recommend, Mohammed Arkaf on YouTube. When I first started using um, Illustrator, this was the first channel I came across, and he helped me learn so much, so much. Let me paste the link to his channel here. Mohammed Arkhaf. The Archaf. I don't know, man. The guy I don't even think you will ever hear his voice if you listen to this, if you watch this thing, his videos, because he uses one of these text to speech synthesizers. So yeah, Mohammed Arkaf, he has so many things. It has a document. It has a how to work on your logo presentation. You can get ideas from there. It has some practice things you can do. Okay. Next thing, place I would ask you to go to is the Future Academy. I thought I'm already subscribed to them. The Future Academy. So I'm typing everything in the chats so that you guys can see everything. So the Future Academy has a lot of skill-based and idea-based things that you can watch and learn and develop yourself on, okay? Future Academy is such a great place for you to learn things that relate to design. Now, they have the Future, okay? The Future is the mother brand for the Future Academy. Now, if you want to learn how to become a better business designer, business that's a creative entrepreneur, you should follow the Future. Chris Doe and his team have come up with content that will help you charge more, find clients, increase sales, that kind of thing. So you should definitely watch their content, binge on it. All right. And then the last person that I will ask you to check on what's called is Satori Graphics. So he just has a lot of content that from time to time will help you find new things, how to be more creative, how to approach typography and all that. So I've pasted everything in the chat. You can see it right there. All right, so that's the first thing. Invest in your growth. Learn a lot of things. There are a lot of courses. Domestica has this course on what's his name? Sorry, hold on. Sagi Haviv Design course. If there's any course I would personally recommend, I'll recommend that you take this course. It's not that expensive. It's just $10, and I think that's about 4,000 naira. It's such a great course. Trust me. Sagi Haviv has worked with some of the biggest clients in the world. I'll paste the comment here too. I'll paste the what's called in comments as well. So take this course. It will really help you. Sagi Haviv's design course on Domestica. Did it paste? Okay, it did. Okay. So now, apart from courses, what other things should you do? The next thing you should do is get on social media. Get on social media, guys. Instagram, Dribble, Behance, so many of these things. Go on social media, follow the right accounts, follow iDares, all right? Follow Fiyin.design. I heard that guy has mad designs, like see the guy's page. Fiyin Design, bad guy. Gee, get on Behance, get on Dribble, get on all these platforms, right? And start to invest in inspiration. Bury your head in these platforms and start looking around for inspiration. Don't get intimidated. Look around, like keep checking. Look, logo inspirations. Where's their page? They have so many logos that will inspire you. So many. And I mean so many. They have how many posts? 11,352 posts. It will help you so much. Okay, so do that. Then post your work, share your work. Don't wait for people to like your work before you share your work. Let me show you my earliest work. Let me see if everything is still here. I mean, I have some work that I've deleted, Sha. This was The first thing I posted then, and this was in 2018, I had 146 likes. And that time I was struggling. 146 likes was 2018, God forbid, man. And so then I wasn't even getting clients. But look now your boy is racking. I've had more likes. Instagram is doing anyhow these days. Now I started racking in 833 likes, 750. I think these three were my best three projects that time because a lot of people really liked them. I'm having 668, 583. Just like do things that just do you enjoy yourself on the platforms. Behance, I think I've been on Behance for about 1 year now. That's when I posted my first project. Learn how to use these platforms. I've been on Behance since November 2018. I've racked a total of 5,450 views, 562 appreciations, 275 followers. Do you understand? These are things that you can only achieve through consistency and sharing your work, regardless of whether people like it or not. You understand? So just keep doing these things. Join Twitter, join communities, look at people tweeting, look at people talking about design, get involved, read articles, guys. Your path is literally in your hands. You get to choose what do you do next. You either become complacent. And one thing that I've learned is that in things like design, just like in a lot of other things, you are on one of two ends. You are either growing or you are regressing, right? So it's either you are growing in your design or you are like there's no middle ground, there's no static and just here. Because if you're not learning something new, you are losing knowledge, right? Because if you're not doing anything, if you're not constantly practicing, you are losing skill. Okay, so you need to constantly do that. You need to constantly invest yourself in your work. Look out for there's something I like to teach people, I like to tell people, before you start looking for where to earn, invest more in your growth. So instead of focusing in where can I get more money or how can I start making money from design, focus on how can I get better quality work? How can I invest in my skill more? And you will notice that through consistency, the right people will notice you. You will learn things that will attract the right people. And in doing that, the right people will notice you. The right clients will come to you. Even when bad clients come to you, you already have a great mindset that will repel them. All right. Many of the works that I've gotten this year, I got them through referrals. Somebody just said, "Oh, do you know that Fiyin design guy? That guy designs so well." And then somebody said, they come and they say, "You know what? This is how I want to work with this guy." They just come and they say, "I want to work with this guy. I want to work with Fiyin." Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So please, guys, do these things, invest in all these things. And finally, guys, if you can, yeah, get a mentor, get someone who can teach you these things. I mean, active mentor. Let me show you my mentor. Let me show you how often we talk. My mentor is a white man. Okay, this is him here. So I'll show you his work. My mentor he's an illustrator and a brand identity designer, right? He does all these things for clients, some for fun and all that. I met him in 2018, that's online. And this is how often we talk, like literally almost every day. I ask as many questions as I can. I sent him screenshots of my work, for him to critique and give feedback and all. And this is just to show you that I am a product of someone's guidance. Someone guided me to get here. I did not get here on my own. You can get a mentor, you can get design friends. Let people help you. Help people as well. Teach people how to do what you do. Let people teach you how to do what they do. You need to be able to be open to help. Your path is not a path you walk alone. So you are like Liverpool. You never walk alone. But yeah, and finally, I said I was going to talk more about pricing and all these things before towards the end of the class. And this is what I was going to say about pricing. Really, there's no defined price, and you might need to go and learn a course or read or watch a video on the future on how to charge and uh, how to charge for logos or how to charge for design work. But your what you charge should be based on your value, the value that you give, not based on what anybody tells you to do. So let me tell you how much I was charging when I first started design. When I first started designing logos in 2018, I was charging 5K, 5,000 naira per logo. And I was just doing logos for just anybody. You get? Then moved to 2019. I started charging somewhere between 10K and 15K. And I was just doing this thing because, oh, I just wanted to start getting money from design and all. It was this year that my mindset changed. Okay, no, it was last year because last year, that project I showed you, one of the projects, I can't tell you which one, but one of the projects that I showed you, I charged the client 150,000 naira for the logo. And when the client actually paid, I was shocked. I was like, so I can charge this much, you know? And from there, I started raising my prices. The lowest I've charged this year for a logo was 250,000 naira. And mind you, I'm talking about for a logo. I'm not even talking about brand identity projects, right? This is to tell you that I have been growing my prices. I've been increasing my prices because I'm adding more value. I'm becoming a better designer, a better strategist. And so I can charge the value that I bring. All right. So I'm not telling you guys to start from 10K, neither am I telling you to start from 250K. If you don't have the skills or you're not providing value that is worth it, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. All right. Train yourself to deliver value. And as you're training yourself, start to gauge how much value do I bring to my clients. From there, start to come up with a price. All right, nobody can tell you this is exactly how much you should charge. I won't tell you how much I charge now for design or for any kind of work. But to tell you that you can charge a lot of money for work that brings value. All right, so I'm going to wrap up the entire session now by telling you what I told you first during the first session. Okay, and so I'm going to pull it up real quick. It's not here. I just want to wrap it up by telling you the exact same thing I told you when we started this entire class. Start to see yourself as more than a pixel pusher. See yourself as a problem solver. Remind yourself daily that you've got this. Carry that mindset that you are bringing value. What you do is important. All right. And I'm trusting that, with everything that I've taught you, everything that you've learned, you'll be able to look back in 3 months' time, in 5 months' time, in 10 months' time, in a year's time, and tell yourself that truly I learned something that pushed my career forward and defined the path that you will be on in the coming months and years. Thank you very much. My name is Fiyin Adeniyi.
Wow, 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 wow. This was a lot. I don't know if anyone can attest to the fact that this was a lot, but for me, this was a whole lot. And I really want us to just show some love to Fiyin if we can. Everyone on this platform right now, just show some love to Fiyin in the chat. Just say thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking out the time to teach us these things. Maybe you don't realize how important this kind of opportunity is. It's in the future that some of you will value this, someone like Fiyin who has already a track record of building on his skill, his value, and his, I would say, virtuosity. Basically, it will get to a time that he would be at even way more than the level of some of his mentors, and then it would occur to you that, wow, I was in one of his trainings. I had the opportunity to actually do something with this brainiac right here. So don't take for granted this opportunity. As always, this is a platform where we reach out to find the best of the best to provide value to everyone who is able to attend. And I want to thank Gabriel. I want to thank some other people in absentia. Anthony, thank you for being here. And to those of the few people who were kind of off and on, but we'll be able to get the resources. I want to say thank you to you as well. Briefly, just to round up, let me start by saying that we appreciate you. I'm speaking on behalf of the whole of iDares, the iDares team. I want to say a big thank you, Fiyin, for taking out the time of your busy senior design schedule and everything else that you do to be here. We really appreciate it so much. And we're hoping, I'm putting it out here now. We're hoping that we can have you for future trainings, more in-depth trainings, because that's really the plan, to be able to keep building up in terms of proficiency and expertise. So um, it's very, very likely that we'll reach out to you again, and it would be so amazing if we could have you come here and go even into more detail, probably even the design process itself with the application. That's something we kind of missed out of this opportunity, but this was excellent. This was a beautiful introduction to the world of logo design. So thank you, and thank you, Fiyin.
A pleasure. If you guys ever have plans for a live training on design or even brand identity design, I mean, just send me a call. I mean, give me a call, send me a message. I will definitely be available for that.
Awesome.
Definitely.
We definitely will reach out to you. Thank you so much. All right. So just before we wrap up, I know we're wrapping up early, and I think it's a good idea. We've really gained as much value, and I don't think there's anything more to add. But I just want to kind of introduce you to who we are really quickly and tell you a little bit about what we do. So here at iDares, we are a lot of things, but this part of the company Ideas is Ideas Learning, where we focus on teaching skills, practical skills that are in demand today. So the goal is not just to provide trainings, but to get you to from point A to point B, and to actually help you achieve some of those goals that you've seen afar off but can't attain because of the lack of information. And so we've been doing this for a while, and we've had previous trainings in the past, and we'll have future trainings as we go on. And this company is basically owned by someone who has been on the call with us, and I would like him to just say a few words really briefly. So I want to invite Emmanuel uh, to say a few words to us at this point.
Hi everyone, good evening. Just let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
All right, that's good. All right, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been part of this since the beginning. Yes, I know Ernest has said a lot of thank yous, but thank yous are never enough. So thank you to everyone who's been here. I'm sorry I can't show my face currently. You know, the cameras and lighting is not so good here. So, but then basically just want to appreciate you who have been on this training so far. Thank you guys.
Okay, he's a man of few words, but a lot of brains. Yeah, so just I want to leave a few announcements as well. If you registered for the motion design training, please and please don't miss it for anything. We're going to have the amazing Anthony, who's been with us on this training from the very beginning as well, take us in depth into that training. And I also want to let you know that if you've been in any of our trainings, you have the benefit for getting discounts in future trainings. All right. But to speak specifically about next week, it's the 27th to the 29th of November. And that's going to be handled by, like I said already, Anthony. He's going to take us through the world of motion graphics, and at that time you'd get to know what is required for the class, and basically you'll be trained and able to design something. To imagine this: you've learned logo design, and you have the ability to animate Hercules, the logo, and you're able to build something where they can even put commercials on TV. That's an amazing addition to your arsenal, don't you think? And so that's what we're kind of going to, that's where we're going, that's what we're going for basically. Remember, follow Fiyin Design on all social media platforms. Let him be your mentor. All right. He's desperately asking. I'm joking by saying that, but honestly, let him be part of your success story. All right. From all of us at iDares, I want to say thank you. Let me show my face one more time. Happy learning. Bye, guys.